My name is Poritzky. I'm from Saratoga Springs, New York, and I play tennis. So I started playing tennis when I was about 5 years old. I actually hated it at the beginning. Didn't really like any kind of group atmosphere. That's what my parents put me in. And then I met an individual coach, started working with him a little bit. Originally I was trying to play professional, but the last year of my junior career, when I was about 17, I was going to try to play junior Grand Slams, but COVID happened and I wasn't really sure where I was going to go from there. And I wasn't ranked. I mean, I was doing pretty well, but I got a really good offer from Furman and it looked like a really great program, so I decided to do it and get an education and still play the sport I love. I've had a lot of good moments, but one of my proudest moments was for sure getting my first professional points, which made me officially a professional tennis player, which was a couple summers ago. And I would say for this season was probably beating Clemson's #1 player, who was ranked, and it got me ranked, which was always a goal of mine in college. So it was pretty cool. I think my resilience on court is something that I am proud of, not giving up, always doing my best, even in difficult moments. Tennis really comes down to the mental side, and I think that a lot of the times I'm able to get through those tight moments that maybe when I was younger I wasn't able to get through. And now that I'm older, it comes a lot easier. Since I was a kid, I don't think I've had more than a month off of tennis other than for injury purposes. It's my whole life. I mean, I never wanted to really take too much of a back seat. I always wanted to be somewhere in my life. It's brought me so many people. It's brought me amazing relationships with people, and it's brought me to over 40 countries. Palma de Mallorca, Spain, and I was there for about 4 years, and I would always go there with my family on vacations, and I would always get so much better when I would go there for a summer. So I decided to move there full time, which it was tough. My dad stayed in the US and worked, which was a hard sacrifice for me, and my mom also came with me, so it was a hard sacrifice for both of us. But I mean, my level completely changed. I went to another level. I started playing tournaments, in Europe and playing on a clay court, which is different. And I mean, it was the best decision I could have made for my tennis. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't do that. My college tennis career is almost finished. I want to win a SoCon championship with my team. We're getting to the end of the season, but it's still a possibility. Dealing with injuries is tough, and I'm currently dealing with one, so it's a little bit uncertain of what the future is going to hold. I have tendonitis in my ECU tendon, which is on the side. I've been dealing with it since mid-July. During the summer, I started feeling pain, and it's just gotten worse and worse. I took a lot of time off and did cortisone injections, but it's still pretty bad.
When I learned about his injury, I was obviously super sad for him and also super sad for our team because he's such a big impact. He's our best player on our team, so when you don't have your best player, it kind of takes away a lot of your confidence.
Well, I was in Florida when it happened, and honestly, I just thought it was some wrist tightness. I didn't think it was anything too bad. But all of a sudden, it got to the point I couldn't even hit a ball, and that kind of got really scary. So after taking time off and it still was hurting, it became pretty scary for me. It's been hard to see everybody playing, and especially it being my senior year, not being able to play the matches, and go on those trips, especially during the fall because I didn't play at all. There's been days where I practice and it hurts so bad and I can't. It really is tough on me because I, trained my whole life to play tennis and play tennis hopefully after school. So it's definitely taken a toll and it stresses me out and it gives me a lot of anxiety sometimes, but I just try to stay positive. My biggest influence has been my coach, Sam, who's been my travel coach since I was 15 years old. I met him in Spain, and since then we've traveled all over the world, and he's taught me so many things. He's a motivational speaker, so he helps me a lot with my mental health as well. And we've traveled all over and played so many tournaments, and he's been such a good, inspiration for me.
He's a starter for singles and doubles, so him not being in, it kind of has to change. Somebody has to fill that spot, which isn't an easy spot to fill. So it was tough for the coaches to figure out the dynamic of how we're going to push through, how we can still compete with such a core player out of our lineup. But in a sense, with that injury, it kind of made our team really resilient. And I think he learned a lot from spending time off the court, being appreciative of what he has, what his journey and everything. So I think when he came back, he had a new mindset.
I just try to, put my mind in other places at some points, instead of focusing as much on my tennis, I'll focus more on school and possibly what I want to do after school. And I try to stay fit and do all the things I would do if I were training. And, sometimes try some new stuff as well.
I miss his goofiness off the court. He does a lot of cringy celebrations. But no, I love his forehand. He's very aggressive. When he's playing his best tennis, it's really cool to watch. Especially, I think if you never seen tennis before, watching him is probably something you'll get hooked to.
Having this injury has really like opened my perspective, on life, not just tennis. It's made me look at like my other skills as a person, not just a player. And obviously, I want to play tennis if I can, but I've looked at some other things that I could possibly do. But I'm staying positive and trying to get back to it if I can. But if not, I have options.
Our goal is always to try and be dominant in the season. Try to be the best team in the conference. I think every year it's between us and two other teams that are always fighting for the top spot. With him being out in the regular season, we kind of struggled a lot, but he kind of came back in the tournament and played for us. And our goal was to really just compete this year. It was kind of like a Cinderella run. We weren't expected to really make it out of the first round, and we upset Chattanooga and we beat ETSU, who was a team we haven't beaten in 20 years. So it was a big moment for us, for him, but also for the school. And we made the finals. We lost 4-3. It was really close. It was an nail-biter. So the season was tough, but like we ended the story really well. It was a little bit of a bittersweet ending, but I'm really happy of what happened.
My real goals are to use tennis to make me the best possible person I can be and help people and, just live a great life.
The type of player he is and the type of person he is will do whatever it takes for the team, and he's very unselfish.
There's moments where you really struggle. There's moments where you don't think you're going to be able to come back from. Especially, I've had a lot of those in my career. Tournaments where I've lost first round, times where I've been training and I felt like I wasn't going to make it through. But saying it's miserable isn't a bad thing. It's just in that moment, but you always come through and push through and make it eventually.